that this would indeed have been a beneficial proceeding for helping focus the American people on these issues and helping draw a line that the executive cannot cross consistent with the Constitution.
Mr. President, I am hopeful that we have drawn attention to this issue, that this issue won't fade away, that the President will tomorrow come up with a response. I would like nothing more than to facilitate the voting and the continuation of the debate tomorrow. I hope the President will respond to us. We've tried repeatedly throughout the day, and we'll see what the outcome of that is. I would like to thank my staff for being here for a long day, for their help. I'd like to thank the fellow senators for being supportive of this cause. I would like to thank the members of Congress who came over to support this cause, the clerks, the Capitol Police, the staff of the Senate, the doorkeepers who apparently I may have gotten in trouble, and anybody else who came to support this, and even the senior senator from Illinois, for better or worse, for being here to support the cause. The cause here is one that I think is important enough to have gone through this procedure. I sit at Henry Clay's desk, and they call Henry Clay the great compromiser. When I came to Washington, one of my fellow senators said to me, he said, "Oh, I guess you'll be the great compromiser." And I kind of smiled at him and laughed, and I learned a little bit about Henry Clay and his career. And, you know, people think that some of us won't compromise. There are many compromises. There are many things I'm willing to split the difference on. If the Democrats will ever come to us and say we will save Social Security, what the age we change it to, how fast we do, there are a lot of things we can split the difference on. But the issue we've had today, I think, is one that we don't split the difference on. I think you don't get half the Fifth Amendment. I don't think you acknowledge the President can obey the Fifth Amendment when he chooses. I don't think you acknowledge the Fifth Amendment due process can somehow occur behind closed doors. So while I'm a fan of Henry Clay, I've often said that I'm a fan of Cassius Clay. Cassius Clay's weapons of choice were said to be his pen and his Bowie knife. He was said to be so good with the first that he often had recourse to the latter. He was a fierce abolitionist. He didn't suffer fools, and he didn't compromise often. But what I would say is, it is worth fighting for what you believe in. I think the American people can tolerate a debate and a discussion. There's been nothing mean-spirited about this debate for 12 hours. I think, in fact, more of it would be even better. I wish we had more open and enjoined debate. The senior senator from Illinois has brought up good points, and I think that there is much discussion. I just hope that this won't be swept under the rug, and that this isn't the end of this, but that this is the beginning of this. And I would go for another 12 hours to try to break Strom Thurmond's record, but I've discovered that there are some limits to filibustering, and I'm going to have to go take care of one of those in a few minutes here. But I do appreciate the Senate's forbearance in this, and I hope that if there are some on the other side of the aisle who have been listening and feel that they may agree on some of these issues, that if they will use their ability to impact the President's decision, and one will say that the Senate should be trying to restrain the executive branch, Republican or Democrat, and two, will use your influence to try to tell the President to do what I think really is in his heart, and that is to say, absolutely, we're not going to be killing Americans not in a combat situation, that we will obey the Constitution, that the Fifth Amendment does apply to all Americans, and there aren't exceptions. But I thank you very much for the forbearance, and I yield the floor.
Mr. President. Senator from Illinois. There will be order. There will be order. Expressions of approval or disapproval are not permitted in the Senate. Senator from Illinois.
Mr. President, let me first say on a personal note, I want to thank the senator from Kentucky. He and I have agreed on many things and worked together on many things, and there's much common agreement on what we hope to achieve with this issue, as important as it is. And I thank him for his spirited defense of his position today and 12 hours, and I want to excuse him from the floor whenever he wishes. I move to proceed to the consideration of calendar number 43.
The question is on the measure to proceed. Without objection, the motion is agreed to. The clerk will report the nomination.
Nomination, Central Intelligence Agency, John Owen Brennan of Virginia, to be Director.
Mr. President, I send a cloture motion to the desk.
The clerk will report the motion.
Cloture motion. We, the undersigned senators, in accordance with the provisions of Rule 22 of the Standing Rules of the Senate, hereby move to bring to a close the debate on the nomination of John Owen Brennan of Virginia to be Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, signed by 17 senators as follows: Reed of Nevada, Feinstein, Rockefeller, Stabenow, Brown, Reed of Rhode Island, Cardin, Carper, Coons, Casey, Pryor, Nelson, Beckidge, Mikulski, Murray, Levin, and Manchin.
Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate resume legislative session and proceed to a period of morning business with senators permitted to speak for up to 10 minutes each.
Without objection, so ordered.
I ask unanimous consent that when the Senate completes its business, it adjourn until 10 a.m. on Thursday, March the 7th, 2013, that following the prayer and pledge, the morning hour be deemed expired, the journal of proceedings be approved to date, the time of the two leaders be reserved for their use later in the day, and that following any leader remarks, the Senate resume executive session in consideration of the Brennan nomination. Further, that the Senate recess from 12:30 p.m. until 2 p.m. to allow for caucus meetings.
Without objection, so ordered.
If there's no further business to come before the Senate, I ask that it adjourn under the previous order.
The Senate stands adjourned until 10 a.m.